We all heard about how everything came crashing down for Lizzo recently with the lawsuit, but now it's coming out that this isn't the first time she's done some pretty terrible things. There are even more stories that show a new side to Lizzo coming out that no one's ever heard before, like how she was the mistress in a 10-year-long relationship. She stole the lyrics from Truth Hurts, and so many other bizarre things. You'll never believe all the horrible things coming out against Lizzo. It turns out the recent lawsuit filed against Lizzo isn't the first scandal she's been involved in over the years. She's actually been accused of being a bad person for several different reasons. The truth about her pattern of disturbing behavior is honestly unbelievable. In September 2019, Lizzo found herself in seriously hot water after publicly doxing a delivery driver. She was staying in a hotel in Boston when she decided to use Postmates to order some food. But when her order never arrived, she totally lost her mind. Lizzo didn't waste any time letting the world know what had happened. She tweeted directly at Postmates and let the company know that their driver had just stolen her food. But that wasn't all. Lizzo's angry tweet also included the driver's name and photo. Before long, a huge amount of her followers joined in and started making ridiculous threats. But the driver's side of the story was completely different. The driver claimed that Lizzo's order was placed under a fake name, Bonnie V. When she arrived at the hotel to drop off the food, she asked the front desk which room Bonnie V was in. But when the hotel staff said that there was nobody there under that name, the driver still didn't give up. Apparently, Postmate drivers are required by company policy to wait 5 minutes for a customer to get their food before leaving the delivery location. The driver in Lizzo's case waited 10 minutes, all while trying to call the phone number linked to the order. After 10 minutes were up and Bonnie V still hadn't answered the phone, the driver left. She didn't know who had really placed the order until the next day when her family told her that she was being put on blast by Lizzo. That's when everything came crashing down. The driver was supposedly terrified after seeing how many people had threatened her just because of Lizzo's tweet. Since her identity had been totally exposed online in such an unhinged way, she was afraid to even leave her house. But what happened next was so crazy. A spokesperson from Postmates told TMZ that they were sorry to hear about Lizzo's inconvenience, but the driver hadn't done anything wrong. The company even confirmed that the driver had waited longer than necessary and tried everything possible to deliver the order. That's when Lizzo had a coincidental change of heart. Lizzo deleted her original tweet and then wrote another astonishing message. She apologized for outing that girl and putting her in danger. She claimed that she should have been more responsible since she has such a large following, but it turns out the damage had already been done. 2 months later, the driver filed a lawsuit against Lizzo, accusing her of liable invasion of privacy and causing emotional distress. She was seeking damages to cover the earnings she lost after she stopped delivering for Postmates out of fear for her safety. But what the driver ended up getting instead was truly unbelievable. Nearly a year and a half after the driver filed the lawsuit, she surprisingly dismissed it. She and Lizzo reportedly didn't settle outside of court. It apparently just got too overwhelming, both financially and emotionally, for the driver to keep fighting. But that's not the only reason why Lizzo has been labeled as problematic. In February 2018, Lizzo was accused of plagiarism by a British musician, Mina Lioness. Mina tweeted at Lizzo claiming that she had written one of the opening lyrics to Truth Hurts on Twitter a year earlier. How Lizzo responded was seriously insane. Lizzo fired back in a tweet that an Instagram meme had inspired her to write Truth Hurts in June 2017. She said she had never seen Mina's tweet from February 2017, which was almost word for word one of the most famous lines from the song. But what happened the following year exposed Lizzo as a fraud. In October 2019, producer and songwriter Justin Raisin shared a very fascinating video to his Instagram. In the clip, he claimed that some lyrics from Truth Hurts as well as the melody had been stolen. Justin explained that those aspects from Lizzo's hit were taken from a different song he'd written with her that year titled Healthy. But then he made another accusation that was completely unexpected. Justin also revealed in his video that the lyrics in question from Truth Hurts actually had originated from Mina's tweet. But instead of righting her wrongs and apologizing, it seemed like Lizzo wanted revenge. What she did next was absolutely crazy. Lizzo listed Mina under the writing credits for Truth Hurts, which is all she really had to do. But then she filed a lawsuit against Justin and 2 additional songwriters. In her filing, she wrote wrote that the three songwriters had withdrawn any and all claims to the song, but it doesn't seem like that was very easy to prove. Lizzo's lawsuit was dragged out for over 2 years before it was settled privately out of court. It sounds like she had been caught in a lie and was angry when the truth was exposed. After the news broke about the most recent allegations against Lizzo, many people have spoken out to tell their shady stories about her. One of those people happens to be an ex-girlfriend of Lizzo's boyfriend, Mike Wright. What she had to say about Lizzo and Mike was honestly bizarre. Brooklyn Elizabeth Brown is allegedly the ex-girlfriend of Mike, and their relationship lasted for 10 years. Just recently, Brooklyn posted a series of videos on TikTok that detailed her past interactions with Lizzo, which sounded extremely toxic. Brooklyn explained that she first met Lizzo in 2016 when the singer was co-hosting MTV's Wonderland with Mike. She claimed that Lizzo wasn't very nice to her when they first met, which she felt was probably due to her rising star power at the time, but supposedly things got way worse from there. Brooklyn said that after their first meeting, Lizzo still allegedly acted annoyed whenever she was around, and whenever Mike, Brooklyn, and Lizzo would hang out outside of filming, the situation didn't improve. Brooklyn revealed that Lizzo was so standoffish in the group setting, she would even completely ignore Brooklyn, all while acting perfectly fine towards Mike. Eventually, Brooklyn made a startling discovery. When Brooklyn realized that there was something romantic going on between her then boyfriend and Lizzo, she was crushed. She was mostly upset with Mike because he's the one who cheated, but that doesn't mean she had no bad feelings towards Lizzo. Brooklyn felt absolutely awful that Lizzo went about starting a relationship with Mike in such a sneaky way. She claimed that she saw texts between Mike and Lizzo that made it seem like neither of them felt bad at all about hurting her. She couldn't even talk about the breakup to many people for such an unbelievable reason. Brooklyn admitted that she couldn't believe how cool Lizzo had been treating her while secretly dating her man. After she found out that Mike had been cheating, being able to heal and process the pain was incredibly challenging. Brooklyn explained that because of Lizzo's popularity, she couldn't escape her music. Every time she tried to take her mind off of what had happened, she'd hear one of Lizzo's songs in a movie or out in public. It would immediately remind Brooklyn of Lizzo's shadiness, but she didn't dare tell this story until just recently because she thought Lizzo supporters would tear her apart and accuse her of trying to ruin her reputation. You can't blame her considering what happened with the Postmates driver. Now that so many people are changing their opinions about Lizzo based on her latest scandal, Brooklyn is healing. She feels like her pain has been validated by Lizzo's true nature finally being revealed, and it turns out she's not the only one. Filmmaker Sophia Nally Allison has also recently opened up about her negative interactions with Lizzo. Sophia was supposed to direct Lizzo's documentary, so she traveled with her to film some scenes back in 2019, but what happened shortly after was allegedly very eye-opening. Sophia recently revealed on Twitter that she only spent 2 weeks working with Lizzo before deciding to completely cut ties. She claimed that Lizzo not only treated her terribly, but also treated many people around her with so much disrespect. Supposedly, Sophia saw Lizzo act extremely rude, entitled, and self-centered multiple times. She said the musician definitely misused her celebrity power, which sadly lines up with what her former dancers are claiming. But when Sophia decided to leave the role of director, what happened was mind-boggling. Sophia claimed that she felt so hurt because Lizzo gaslit her and made the tricky situation even more difficult. She also added that she was thankful she trusted herself to make the right call considering how serious the latest accusations are. After Sophia shared her original post about Lizzo's bad behavior, she posted an insane update. She said that since her first post, she had received countless similar stories from people who had been too afraid to speak out. If all the claims about Lizzo are true, I don't see how she'll ever be able to fully repair her reputation. It's pretty crazy how many examples there have been over the last several years about Lizzo's terrible attitude and treatment of other people around her. Many people have come forward to support the former dancers behind the recent lawsuit, and they've even shared their own negative experiences. It'll be interesting to see what happens next with the lawsuit, especially now that Lizzo's upcoming concerts are being canceled. But now that we've gotten into her insanely problematic past, I'm curious to know what you think. What are your thoughts on the previous lawsuits and claims made against Lizzo due to her entitled behavior and actions? Do you think Lizzo's music career should be completely over, or are you hoping that she'll somehow redeem herself? Let me know in the comments below.